Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Gabby and I created this channel to share my family's immigration journey in hopes it will inspire and help people just like you to navigate the immigration process on their own with confidence. Today we're going to dive into the documents that you'll need to complete Form I-130, which is the petition for alien relative. This form is the first step in helping your loved one immigrate to the United States, so let's make sure we get it right. Form I-130 is used to establish a relationship between a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident and a foreign relative who wants to immigrate to the U.S. But before you can submit the form, you'll need to gather a few important documents. So let's go through them one by one. First, you'll need to prove your U.S. citizenship or lawful permanent residence status. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can use a copy of your U.S. passport, your birth certificate, your naturalization certificate, or your certificate of citizenship. If you're a lawful permanent resident, you'll need to provide a copy of your green card, also known as a permanent resident card. Next up is your proof of relationship with the person that you are petitioning for. This is one of the most important parts of your I-130 petition. If you're petitioning for a spouse, you need to submit a copy of your marriage certificate. If you're petitioning for a child, you might submit a birth certificate that lists you as the parent. In my own case, when petitioning for my stepdaughter, I submitted both my stepdaughter's birth certificate and the marriage certificate between her biological dad and I, which will confirm our relationship through marriage to her father. Please note that U.S. citizens can file I-130 petitions for their spouses, children, parents, and siblings. And current green card holders, also known as lawful permanent residents, they can file I-130 petitions for their spouses and unmarried children. So if you're a U.S. citizen filing for your sibling, then your birth certificate and marriage certificates are considered the primary evidence to prove a sibling relationship. It shows both the petitioner and the sibling share at least one common parent. DNA testing may be requested from USCIS as evidence in a parent-child relationship, but although not a requirement or rarely utilized, DNA testing can be used as evidence in a sibling relationship if other evidence is seen as liking. Additional evidence in establishing a familiar relationship can include things such as medical records, school records, family photos, or religious records that can prove a biological connection. Make sure these documents are in English or have a certified translation attached. This is crucial as USCIS needs to understand exactly what each document is saying. If you or your relative has ever legally changed your name, you need to provide documentation for that. This could be a marriage certificate, divorce decree, or a court order showing the name change. If you're filing for a spouse, USCIS will want to see proof that your marriage is genuine and not just for immigration purposes. This could include photos of you together, joint bank account statements, lease agreements, or anything else that shows you and your spouse have built a life together. For me, when applying for my husband, I submitted proof of my husband being an additional authorized user on my credit card. There are some banking institutions that will allow you to add additional users without requesting a social security number from that user. This worked perfectly for us because at that time my husband and I were living in separate households as he was living abroad in Ghana. So check with your credit card provider to see if this is an option for you. For those of us living in the same households, the intermingling of finances should be easy to show. But for those of us who are not, we may need to think outside of the box when submitting evidence. For instance, for spouses who live in the same household, it's probably a no-brainer to add your spouse as a beneficiary to life insurance policies, 401k policies, or as an additional or as an emergency contact at your place of employment. Although these things will definitely be supported evidence for you, it can still be an option for those of us living in separate households or in different countries. This just requires thinking outside of the box when determining supported evidence to submit, and make sure whatever you submit makes sense. Whatever evidence you submit makes sense. Of course, family photos, correspondence such as chat messages, letters, and emails can be submitted as evidence as well. Also, affidavits from family members confirming the legitimacy of your marriage is an option as well, although it may not be seen as strong of evidence when compared to others. The intermingling or combining of finances will be your strongest evidence for proof of a bona fide marriage. So when I say financial evidence, this can be things such as leases, mortgages, car loans, bank accounts, and credit cards. You will include statements of these accounts showing you and your spouse listed. Let's go a step further. Maybe auto insurances where you and your spouse are both listed on the same policy. This can be submitted as evidence. Even renters insurance policies. Perhaps you have other consumer debt or installment accounts. Maybe you guys purchase appliances and furniture together and you both are listed as being financially responsible for repaying back those loans. Do you see where I'm going with this? So evidence that shows you two are committed doing this thing called life together. Remember to gather as much evidence as possible. The more you can show that your marriage is real, the stronger your case will be. Finally, you'll need to include a filing fee for Form I-130. As of this year, 2024, the fee is $625 for online filing and $675 for paper filing. But make sure to check the USCIS website for the most up-to-date information. You can pay by a check or money order, and it should be made out to U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Don't forget to include the payment with your application or your petition will be rejected. So to quickly recap, when you are filing for the I-130, what you, the petitioner, are doing is simply requesting that USCIS recognize your familiar relationship between you, the petitioner, and the beneficiary. The beneficiary will be your family member or foreign relative that wants to come to the United States. This is the first step in your beneficiary applying for a green card to become a permanent resident. And in doing so, you must submit evidence that you are related to this person, making he or she eligible to apply for a green card. So when USCIS approves your Form I-130, what that means is USCIS finds that yes, you are indeed related to this person who meets eligibility to apply for a green card. So yes, you may now move forward with the next steps in the visa application process. So that's it for the I-130 submission process. With these documents in hand, you'll be well on your way to completing Form I-130. Remember, it's all about being thorough and accurate. Double check everything before you send it off. And if you're ever in doubt, seek help from a trusted immigration attorney or a reputable organization. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for more tips on navigating the immigration process. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. I'm here to help. Until next time, take care and good luck on your immigration journey. Bye.